So you are saying, telling us that you see the constant, you can't change. Or include your.
Okay, welcome back. Let us continue. Let's continue. So production overhead is what? For Taiwo is production overhead 400,000. And for Kinde is what? For Kinde is 1 million. 1 million. So after that, what other expenses do we have? We have admin expenses. Admin expenses. Admin expenses for Taiwo is 420,000. For Kinde is what? 420,000 as well. Please make sure you are following us so that if I type the wrong thing, let me know. So interest on debenture. Now, this is it. From here now, all this one, let's categorize them. Let's categorize all these ones. Let's categorize all this one. Now, this is my revenue. Let me just underline it straight. To underline, that's my total revenue. I will bold it. Okay, that's my revenue. That's my revenue. If that's my revenue, all these one are my what? Are my expenses. So I will add them. Let me add the expenses. Let me add the expenses. Okay, so let us add. Let us add all our expenses together. What do we have? 1,650 plus 1,200 plus 400 plus 420. So I have 3,670,000 for Taiwo, 3,670,000. What about for Kinde? For Kinde, we have 1,850 plus 450 plus 1,000 plus. Okay, this one is 420 plus 420. That's a 3,720 here. 3,720,000. 3,720,000. This is my total expenses. Total expenses. Okay? Total expenses is this. Let me also coordinate and give it 2 underlines. So we have gotten our total expenses. We have gotten our total revenue. Let me add below. Add again. Sorry, 1 minute. Let me add. So below. Let me add again below. We need more space. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, I think this should be enough. Let us continue. So what will be our profit before interest and tax? Profit before interest and tax is going to be our revenue minus expenses. So that's 800,000 minus 3,670,000 670,000. That's 1 million. For Taiwo, 1,130,000. 1,130,000. And for here, 4,800,000 minus 3,720,000. 3,720,000. 1,080,000. That's for Kaide. 1,080,000. That's our profit before interest and tax. Now, what's our interest? We have interest in the question. Interest. So let's check. The interest is for Taiwo, interest on debenture is 100,000 for Taiwo, 100,000, and what? And 180,000 for Kainde, 180,000 for Kainde. That's our interest. That's our interest. Okay, if that's our interest, this should give me what? After this, I should have profit before tax, right? Sorry, should be one line, not double. So this will give me my profit before tax. Let's see that. Profit before tax, PBT. So my profit before tax will be 1,130,000 minus 100,000. That's a 1,200,000. Am I correct? No. Minus 100,000. 1,030,000. I want to say 1,030,000. And for this is going to be what? We have 1,080,000 minus 180,000. That's a 900,000. 900,000. Okay, that's our profit before tax. Now we need to charge our tax. What is the tax rate? Let's check. What is the tax rate? The tax rate as given in the question is 30%. So tax at 30%. Tax at 30%. 1,030,000, let's do it for 900 is 0.3. That's 270,000. I have 270,000 here for Kainde. 270,000. And for Taiwo is what? For Taiwo is 1,030,000 times 0.3. That is 309,000. 309,000. Now, this will give me my profit after tax. This will give me my profit after tax. Okay? This gives profit after tax. PAT, profit after tax. What's our profit after tax? 1,030,000 minus 309,000. That's 721,000. 721,000 for Taiwo. And for Kainde is what? We have 900,000 minus 270,000. That's 630,000. That's our profit after tax. Now, in this question, if you go up in the extra given to us, you see that we have preference share. We have preference shares. And of course, I told you that preference shares is paid out of what? Profit after tax. So it's different from interest. Interest is paid before tax. But for preference share dividend, you pay preference share dividend after you have paid tax. Okay, after the payment of tax. So it means in addition to tax, I need to deduct preference share dividend. So let's see that. Preference shares dividend. Preference shares dividend. Preference shares dividend. So preference shares dividend, let's see, is only Taiwo that is having preference share. It's only Taiwo that is having preference share. So let me expand this so that I can put the calculation for you to see. Sorry. Don't scatter my work, I beg. Don't scatter my work. Let me expand this so that I can give enough space. The calculation I want to do. Okay, so our preference share dividend will be calculated as, look at the question. Our preference shares is 400,000, and the coupon rate is what? 10%. So I will have 10% times 400,000. 10% times 400,000. 10% times 400,000. That should be what? 40,000. That should be 40,000. So here I don't have anything like preference share. It's only Taiwo that is having preference share. Kehinde is not having preference share. So this will give me profit after tax and preference share dividend and preference shares dividend. What does this mean? It simply means profit after the payment of tax and after the payment of preference share dividend. Profit after the payment of tax and after the payment of a preference share dividend. So that's going to give me what? 721 minus 40. 721 minus 40. That's 681,000. 681,000. 681,000. And this is going to give me 630,000. It's not changing because there is no preference share dividend. So I can now close this. I can now close this. I can close it, leave it both. Now, what is my dividend? It is now out of this profit. It is out of this profit. I highlighted here that I'm going to pay dividend. That profit is profit that is available to only equity holders. We have settled debt holders. We have paid their interest. We have paid preference share dividend, the dividend due. So the remaining is meant for equity holders. Is meant for equity holders. So this now, I can pay dividend from it. I can retain part of it. And the question tells us that we are paying dividend of what? 50%. So dividend paid. Dividend paid. Dividend paid is 50%, Abby. Let me put it there. Dividend paid at 50%. So that is 50% of 681. So 681 times 0.5 is 340,500. So this one 630 times 0.5 will give you 315,000. 315,000. These are the dividend. Okay, these are the dividend. Now, I need to go further. I need to go further. Let me go further. For me to compute cost of equity, I need my dividend, Abby, and we have gotten the dividend now. I need my market value of equity. So what is the market value of equity? Let me also insert some additional rows. Let me add additional rows. Let me create additional rows to accommodate that. Additional row. Additional rows. Additional rows. Below. Okay. I think this should be fine. I should just, yes, this should be fine. So let's come down and put market value of equity. Market value of equity. Market value of equity. Market value of equity in the question, we're told that, let's go to the question. For Taiwo is 3.45 per share. So I can have 3.45 times how many shares does the company have? The share is 1 million at 1 naira each. So it's 1 million over 1, which is 1 million. 1 million times 3.45. That's what? 34,500,000. So 34,500,000 1, 2, 3. 34,500,000 is the market value, is the total market value of equity. Okay, is the total market value of equity. So that's for Taiwo. What about for Kehinde? We also go back to the question. The total nominal value of shares of Kehinde is 1 million, but the nominal value per unit so is 0.25. So divide 1 million by 0.25. That will give me 4 million shares. Is 4 million shares. And the market value per share is what? Is 0.7. So multiply that by 0.7. We have 2,800,000. 2,800,000. Okay, that's our market value of equity. Now, is our dividend growing? Let me ask you that question. Look at this. Answer that question. Let me unmute you to answer the question. Answer the question. Do you think our dividend is growing or is constant? Look at it. Is our dividend growing or constant? Is our dividend growing or constant?
It's constant.
It's constant, have you?
Yes.
Okay. That's who said that? Mrs. Angela, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, constant. Mrs. Sheo, can I hear from you? And then Mrs. Chiwe. Is our dividend constant or growing? Mrs. Sheo.
I'm not sure, sir.
You said?
I'm not sure, sir.
So if it is that, you tell the examiner you are not sure. You just write in your script, I'm not sure. Okay, put yourself in the exam condition. What will you, is it constant dividend or growing dividend?
It's constant, sir.
Okay, good. Mrs. Chiwe, you uncle.
Constant.
Okay, constant. And unfortunately, all of you got it wrong. Dividend is growing. How do I know that dividend is growing? I have my what? I have my dividend payout ratio. Abi? My dividend payout ratio is what? 50%. It means the company is retaining what? The company is retaining 50%. So I have my, don't forget, if you want to use Gordon, is RB. So B is the retention rate, proportion of earnings retained. So if I pay 50% as dividend, what does that mean? It means I'm retaining 50%. So let me put it there. Retention rate. Retention rate. The moment it is possible for you to compute all this, your dividend is no longer constant. Retention rate is 50% because we are paying 50% as dividend. So 50%, that's our retention rate. And what is our return on equity? Return on equity. Return on equity, which is represented by what? By R, Abi. So how do we compute our R? How do we compute our R? Our R is profit after tax and preference share dividend. That's according to this question here, because we are having preference share dividend. That's why I'm using profit after tax and preference share dividend. At Dividend, there is no dividend. At Dividend, there is no preference share. It will have been only profit after tax. Okay? So profit after tax and preference share dividend over what? Over equity plus opening balance of reserve. Abi? Equity plus opening balance of reserve. Okay? Let me erase this first. Let's get our book value of equity. Book value of equity. I'm breaking it down so that you understood what I'm doing. So that you understand rather. So that you understand what I'm doing. That's why I'm breaking it down. Book value of equity is 1 million each. Okay. 1 million. And also here is what? 1 million. 1 million. Okay. Then what's going to be our opening balance of reserve? What's going to be our opening balance of reserve? Opening balance of reserve. Now, if you look at in the current year, our reserve for Taiwo is 340, abi? Okay, let me include another column so that you understand what I'm saying. I'm saying here, please. I want you to get this clearly. So, reserve for the year. Reserve for the year is what? You know, we pay 50% as dividend. So 50% is also retained. So it's 340, 500,000. Okay, 340,500. Sorry, 340,500. And here is also 315,000. That's our retained earning for the year. So this retained earning for the year is already included in that question before you. The question in front of you, where you have general reserve, okay, where you have general reserve, retained earning is already part of it. Retained earning for the year is already part of it. So I need to get the opening retained earnings. Okay, I need to get the opening retained earnings. So the opening retained earnings is going to be the retained earning you have in your question minus the retained earning for the year. So that's going to be for Taiwo. The reserve we have in the question is what? 1,500,000. So remove retained earning for the year, which is what? 340,500 minus 340,500. So my opening retained earnings is 1,159,500. That's my opening retained earnings. So what about for Taiwo? For Taiwo is okay, 1,600,000 minus, what do we retain there? 315,000 minus 315,000. So that's 1,285,000. 1,285,000. 1,285,000 is my opening retained earnings. Okay, so I can now say that my return on equity, which is what? Profit after tax all over equity plus opening what? Opening retained earnings. Can you see that now? So that should be what? Profit after tax over my equity plus opening retained earnings. So this should give me for Taiwo, what's our equity? Sorry, what's our profit after tax? Profit after tax is profit after tax and preferential dividend. Let me state it clearly, please. Profit after tax and the preference dividend, because that's what we have in this question here. That's the situation we are facing here. And preference share dividend. And preference share dividend. That's the situation we are faced with. Let me adjust this to accommodate it. Let me adjust it to accommodate it. Okay. Okay. So let us now compute. Profit after tax and preferential dividend is what? 681,000. 681,000 divided by 1 million plus 1,159,500 is 2,159,500. Okay. Mrs. Angela is off. Mrs. Angela is off. Okay, let's continue. Should we follow from the recording? Don't have time. So that will give us what? That will give us times 100, 31.5%. 31.5% is our what do you call it? Return on equity. What about for Kehinde? For Kehinde is 630,000 plus 1,285,000. 1,285,000 plus 1 million is what? 285,000. 285,000. So 630,000, which is profit after tax and profit share dividend, plus 2,285,000. That gives me 27.6%. 27.6%. 27.6%. Okay, 27.6%. That is our what? That's our return on equity. So you can see that now. I have my return on equity now, which is my RRB. Return on equity is R. And my proportion of earnings retained is B. Proportion of earnings retained is B, which is 50%. So from here, I can get my what? I can get my dividend growth rate. Dividend growth rate, which is what? Which is a G. So my G is equal to R times B. Can see R times B. So I will have 0.5 times 0.315 times 100. I have 15.8%, approximately 15.8%. That's the dividend growth rate for Taiwan. And what about for Kennedy? For Kennedy is 0.5 times 0.276. And that is what? Times 100. 13.8%. 13.8% is the dividend growth rate for Kennedy. So you have to be able to diagnose the question. You must be able to diagnose the question. It's not going to be straightforward at all times. You can see this now. You can see the work we have to do to this before we can get to where we are now. Okay? So you must be able to establish that dividend is growing. And that is the ability for you to know when to use Gordon and when to use a historical dividend. And I've told you that Gordon is when it is possible for you to calculate your return on equity and it's possible for you to calculate the retention rate. So these conditions are met in this question. So I cannot assume that dividend is constant. Okay, so if this is the case, what is going to be my cost of equity? I cannot compute my cost of equity. My cost of equity, which is what? KE, which is equal to what? Sorry. Let me put this one in bracket. KE is equal to D0 into bracket 1 plus G, bracket 1 plus G, all over market value of equity plus what? Plus G. So let us apply this formula now and calculate our cost of equity. What is our dividend? I told you, whether you are using per unit or total, you get the same figure. I'm using total here because my dividend is in total and my market value is also total. So I will use the total. You don't need to start looking for per unit again. Just go ahead with the total value you have. So my D0 for Kinde is 340,000. So 340,000 times 1 plus, this is the growth rate. So that's 1.158. 1.158 equals to this divided by, what is the market value? The market value of equity, 34,500,000. Okay, I think let us shorten this one. Come on. I don't want us to make mistake. Okay, it's the total. Okay, we didn't work in thousand. I wanted to confirm that. We didn't work in thousand. So this is going to be divided by 34,500,000. That's 4,500,000.
Sorry, sir. Are we using the total market value?
Yes, because I'm using total dividend as well.
Oh, okay, sir.
So, but if you are using dividend per share, then you use what? You use market value per share as well. just know that when we are using total dividend, it has to go with total market value. When we are using dividend per share, it has to go with what? Market value per share. Did you understand
Okay,
now?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, let us continue. Let us continue. So this will give me 3,500,000. Sorry. Let me cancel this rubbish here. Can you still see my screen?
We can see your screen.
Okay, my screen went off air. I need to do some things. Okay, it's back now. I mistakenly pressed on my browser. So 34,500,000 now plus 0.158 times 100. So I have 16.9%. If you follow that formula, you have 16.9% for Taiwo. And for Kehinde, it's going to be dividend of 315,000 times 1.138. 1.138, okay, divided by, what's the market value? 2,800,000. 2,800,000 plus 0.138 times 100, 26.6%. 26.6%. That is the what do you call it? That is the cost of equity. That is the cost of equity. Now, what about cost of preference share? Cost of preference share. Cost of preference share. Cost of preference shares. Now, my cost of preference share, which is KP, Abi, is KP. Look at what the client tells you. The client says that you should assume that the nominal value of preference shares and nominal value of debt are the same as the market value, Abi, because the question did not give you market value of equity. Okay, the question did not give you market value of equity and it didn't give you market value of debt. So we have to assume that the market value of equity and market value of preference shares and market value of debt are the same. That's the assumption the question asks us to make. And how do we compute our cost of preference share? I just want to demonstrate this for you. Normally in the exam, the moment I'm told that the market value of preference share is written as the book value, I don't need to compute the cost of preference share because the coupon rate of the preference share will be the same thing as the cost. But for me to illustrate it, I will compute. We have our preference share is 10% preference shares, Abi, times the total nominal value of preference share is 400,000. So multiply by 400,000. Now divide it by what? What is the market value? 400,000 as well. Let me state the formula, please. Pardon me. Preference share dividend, preference shares dividend all over market value of what? Of preference share. Market value of preference shares times 100. So cost of, yeah.
The cost of equity, I'm not getting 16.6. So
16.9. Okay, did you get 16.9 here?
no. For Kehinde, I got 12.8. So I don't know.
You got what?
12.8.
Okay, let us do it again. What is our dividend for Kehinde is what? 315,000, Abi?
Yes, 315,000.
Now, our growth rate is what? 1 plus G, Abi? Don't forget.
Yes.
And growth rate is 13.8. So that's going to be what? 1.138, Abi?
Yes.
So multiply 315,000 by 1.138. We will have 358,470, Abi? Is that correct? No. Let me come again. 315,000 times 1.138. We have 358,470, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now divide this. Press equal to, divide this by, what's the market value? 2,800,000. Is that what you did?
Yes.
Yeah, 2,800,000. Then equal to, that gave us 0.128, Abby.
Yes, sir.
Then plus the growth rate. You did not add the growth rate again. You did not complete the formula.
Your formula, you didn't complete the formula in your sheets.
Where?
Your sheets, the formula cost of equity. It's about, you didn't put plus G.
Okay. Where? I want to see.
Your
where I
cost
have
of
that.
equity. The last row.
Okay. No, you see, I put it now. That's what
You put
it.
equal to G.
Yeah, it's plus. It's plus. Did you get it now?
I got it now, yes, sir.
Okay, so let us continue. So cost of preference shares. Our preference share is having a coupon rate of 10% times the total nominal value of preference share is what? 400,000. I want to use the total instead of per unit, because whether per unit, whether per total, we still give me the same thing, Abi. So all over, the market value we assume is equal to the book value. So this will be equal to cost of preference share is equal to 10% of 400,000 is what? 40,000. 40,000 over 400,000 times 100. This one, don't forget, this one is also times 100. Times 100. So we have cost of preference shares to be equal to, so 40,000 over this is give you what? 10%. Did you get 10%? Did you get 10%?
Yes, sir.
So you can see, if the market value of preference shares is the same thing as the book value, so the coupon rate on the preference share will be the same thing as cost of the preference share. So you won't want to do all this calculation again. I just did it so that I will be able to prove to you. Okay. So that's that about cost of preference share. What about cost of debt? This cost of debt is for a cost of preference share is for only Taiwo. Don't forget, it's only Taiwo that has preference share. So it's for only Taiwo. Cost of preference share for Taiwo. Now let's go to cost of debt. Let's go to cost of debt. Cost of debt. Now we have two types of debt here. Abi? Sorry, we have two debt for the two companies I wanted to say. We have debt. The two companies have debt. So cost of debt. What type of debt do they have? What type of debt do they have? Redeemable or irredeemable? Let me hear from you. Is it redeemable or irredeemable? Oh, yeah. We are running out of time. In fact, maybe, and I want us to complete this question before we go. I want us to complete this question. I don't want us to carry it over.
Irredeemable.
Irredeemable. Cost of irredeemable. So it's going to be what? Interest. So it's going to be interest. Mrs. Angela, there's noise from your end. Interest amount into bracket 1 minus tax rate. Over 1 minus tax rate over what? Market value of debt times 100. This is the formula. So let's compute for Taiwo. For Taiwo, the cost of debt will be equal to what? Cost of debt will be equal to what is the interest for Taiwo? Sorry, interest is 100,000, right? into bracket 1 minus, what's the tax rate? 10%, 30%, 0.3 over what is market value of debt? We are told that it should be what? The same with the book value. And what is the book value? 800,000. 800,000 over 800,000. So that